And there is a lot of psychological and social problems in their behavioral issue. There are a lot of psychological and social problems, particularly involving behavior and school issues. And this is seen more commonly during adolescent phase. In adolescent phase, there is a lot of problem with school issues. Not studying properly, not attending the class, not doing the homework, telling lies at home, today school is not there. Many things. There are many ways that they can find out. But there are some problem that they are having for which they are doing this. So I would say, don't see what they are doing. See what is the issue behind that doing. If we are trying to able to identify or trace out or point out or pinpoint what is the issue for which they are, this is just the action that is happening. But there should be a reason for that action. No one would simply do it unless and until the person is insane. But we never trying to find out the reason for what they are doing. And we simply go and take action about what they have done. And that will repeat. And it will again repeat. And one fine day, for us, it will be acceptance. This one is like this only. And once that acceptance comes, there is a breach in the relationship between the parent and the child. And when that happens, that breach widens up. There is a strong attachment with an outsider who will be much more severe venom than my strictness, which will poison their mind and completely ruin their entire future. Because adolescent phase is such which is much more out of direct control of the adults at home. When they reach the adolescent phase, they are out of control of the adults at home. And therefore, these type of misbehaviors become very prominent, as they are, that is a time when they are developing independence. Adolescent phase is a time when they start developing independence, and they typically exercise this adolescent phase to enjoy that moment. They do not know what is right and wrong, but they want to enjoy that moment of adolescence, and that is there in the environment already. So they get easily influenced. And today, with such a lot of media thing, to influence an adolescent is very easy. And as a parent body, for us to lose that control is very easy. And therefore, for them, the idea of questioning, why shouldn't I, when the world is doing? What's wrong in that? You are someone who is, in the 1960 model. Papa, this is generation difference. They will definitely come with all these things. Definitely they will talk with all these things. The idea is, tell me one good reason. By doing that, what are you achieving? You do. First thing is, you do. So you have broken that will. Then tell me one good reason. Tell me, is it useful? Tell me, is it productive? Tell me, is it with your development? If so, yes, I am with you. What should be the way? I am with you. If you fall, I'll also fall with you, no problem. And then you see what is the difference that it makes. Because now you are allowing the power of wisdom to blossom. It is this particular idea, because that independence for them is simply nothing else but a dictum: break the rules. You see the adolescent phase, if you see the summary of every adolescent, what they are doing is break the rules. Whatever they are doing, the bottom line is, I want to break the rules. And what is the idea behind it? To show that I am I. I can do something what the other people cannot do. I want to do something that the world cannot do. This is the central idea that the adolescent will have. And therefore, we need to observe the pattern of misbehavior that happens. What is it that is against the law of nature? Because adolescent will give you a lot of mask. It's very difficult for you to understand at that age. They will not tell you, and you will not even know. Many of the parents come here and tell, it was shocking, Doc, he did such a thing. Why should it be shocking? You never had communication with a child for such a long time. Making the tiffin, making lunch and making dinner is not parenting. Spending time and sitting down with the child and talking and understanding what is the child going through is parenting. Best of clothes I bought for him. Best of food I get for him once or twice in a week from the best of hotels. That's not parenting. In fact, that is spoiling the child. As we homeopaths, what we talk, law of minimum. Here what you have done best means the law of maximum. Lavu. See, this is boneless butter chicken I bought from this place. Huh? For you only, darling. Finished. Every demands, if it is fulfilled every time, the child will never know the value of the thing. Another best example I'll tell you. I wanted to learn tabla in 7th standard. My father kept this thing target. Get 60% and I'll send you for tabla classes. 59%, and this was the answer. And I pleaded that only 1% less. Less is less. And then he said, in a 100 meters race, there is this finishing line. Na? When you cross that only, that means you have done that 100-meter race. Can you say that you are 4 inches behind and you won the race? No. And this, from a very childhood days, it should be like that. Keep a small target and make the child to achieve those targets. And you also be one among them. Very important. Nothing big thing to do. Many a times I see children having lack of coordination. Mind-body coordination. What I do is tell the parents to get different size needles. Sewing needle with paper, cover the pointed part and tie it with thread so that it doesn't poke. And give a thread to pass through the needle. And keep a time watch so that it this much. Oh, very good. This all 5 needles you finished in 3 minutes. Let us see if you can finish in 2 minutes 55 seconds. So that mind body coordination. Such type of exercises which are easily done at home, from bigger to smaller to smaller to smaller needle, and your accuracy is how you look at it and how your fingers are coordinating to pass through the thread to the needle. Then another exercise, then another exercise. This is how you tune the child for the mind body coordination. So at this adolescent phase, if this doesn't happen, if you are not able to converse and communicate with them, many a times we see all sorts of vices begin. They get into episodes of fighting with people around outside, with friend circles and all. They start becoming violent. They tend to stay away from school, bunk school, for vivid reasons, whatever it could be. Robbery, I mean, in sense, stealing things for fulfilling their requirements that gives them pleasure. And this can be seen by their deterioration in their performance, in their academic interest. You will see a graph. How many of us really keep a graph? 5th standard, first unit test, terminal exam, 3rd unit test, 2nd unit test, and final exam. Same thing with 6th standard. On a piece of paper, the 5th standard, 6th standard, 7th standard, 8th standard, and see the average percentage, subject wise and total average percentage. If that graph, if you have, you get to know where the child is standing, what is happening with the performance of the child. It just a full scale paper, wide open, 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Start from 5th gradually and see where the child is. Is the graph going upwards so that the child is improving, or is it stagnant, or is it coming down? We need to have our homework very clear as to what is happening silently. The best observation is a silent observation. In many of the children, they are doing well, so you don't have to do very good. You have to just encourage, that's all. But when it is not happening properly, then every time to time there has to be a short intervention, not harsh, but a general touch-up, so that it simply builds that my father is my friend. I can open up anything to him. Give that space, very, very important. Give that space so that the child opens up. Many of them have also gone through the cases also along with me, how I give space for the person to open up. That space is very important, because once you have that space, the child definitely feels that aura. But if you give an aggressive aura, the child will have a repulsive aura or succumbing aura. Both are bad. Succumbing can lead to suicidal. Aggressive can lead to problems outside the house. Both will be disasters. And it is this phase, I call it as a tender string between the now and the future. That's what is adolescent phase. Because many a time the child doesn't have any issue per se, no issue. Hormones play a role. It is at puberty stage that is the problem. And when I advise the parents to handle the situation for my sake for 2 to 3 years, and you see they have gone beautifully well, because just the hormone for both male child and the female child. And understand this, it is not like previous puberty phases 10 to 15, 20 years back. Today's puberty phase is much more disastrous because of so much of visual impact, hearing impact. You see a female child getting into menarche at the age of 10, 11, 12, which never used to happen before. So now it has come down to such, and it is a real heightened with all the media and everything, print media, this thing, gazettes and everything. The thing has, the hormonal turmoil has been very, very drastic. And we never think about this. We always look into some problem is there. Something he is up to. Something she is up to. But she or he is not up to. It is the hormones that are making them up to. And it is a big time issue. Endocrinal problems are a big major problems. Right? So that has to be looked at. Further, if you have to understand for an adolescent, it is this, that they are determined by their own moral or behavioral code. Circumstances of adolescents' behavior is determined by their own moral or behavioral code that starts at home. It is at home that we need to have or cultivate that. In few of the patients, what I did was, I told the parents, Saturday, 1 hour, just a family get together. So each one come. So the father begins first. What did I do the whole week? In short, 5 to 7 minutes. Then the mother says, what did she do the whole week? What best cooking that she did, or what best this thing, looking at what is the sensitivity of the children. She gives her 5 to 7 minutes. Then when it is a children's situation, they elaborate. In that friendly, what all did you do? So you elaborate for 10-15 minutes. What little bit more. So from Monday to Saturday, only this much. There your attention should be what is going wrong. What is happening in the minds of the child. Immediately make a note. Immediately look at it, what can be done. Best solution. Saturday, okay, everybody, that's why we used to have family prayers, which now has gone completely. Every day evening, all the family members come together, Aarti is there, and everybody have to compulsorily come. What is the idea behind it? It gives a family aura. Now with our schedule and with our this thing, it has all changed. But if we can make this half an hour, 1 hour, something of that sort, just each one tell, see how different it comes, what difference it really makes for the children, that they are allowing themselves to come out with it. But it should gradually develop. Huh? Don't suddenly say tomorrow onwards, okay, we'll have a family meeting together. It will not work. So casually while eating, how about having this thing? I just had an idea. What, son, what do you think? Don't expect the answer at that time only. Think over and let me know. Give them space again for that. And next day again, just casually open up that topic. So yesterday I asked something, did you have a time to think over it? Opens up that space. That gives them that feeling, yes, he's gently or she's gently putting up this idea. Let's have a try. So their inner conscious gives that opening to, let's have a try. And normally the children will be shy to open up first. So the father begins first at the head of the house. Mother seconds it, what she has done the whole week. Then the child. Everything, then you see how it simply falls in its own place without anybody else doing anything. Miracles. Because remember one thing I'll tell you, without fail I'll tell you this, every individual wants to speak out. Every individual. We cannot keep emotions to ourselves. But they want some space to open out, to vent out. And what are we doing in this session? Nothing else. but different ideas how to open it up. Different ideas where we can utilize to vent out. And many of us know also about it, but the idea is only to implement. Right? This is the idea, because adolescents, they need to feel the warmth and the support. Remember, they want to do something different. That's the age when they want to do something out of the box. And when they are wanting to do something out of the box, also remember they hesitate. So on one side is wanting to do something new, and the other side is they are also hesitant. What if I fail? And if in this moment the parent plays a role of being a fulcrum, go ahead, let's see. Unless and until it's not dangerous, go ahead, take a step, let's see. The child develops the confidence, and then afterwards ask, so what do you think? Was this feasible? When they start rationally thinking and the space was also given, they know I need to ask parents before I have to do. They themselves will start realizing it. They themselves will start confiding, because you have given them that confidence that I am with you and I will be with you. Even if you fall, I'm there with you. But once or twice, let them fall. What we do is we prevent them from falling. That's our biggest mistake that happens. Something not fall means major fall, but a small where we can understand, okay, it's affordable if he falls here. If we allow them to fall, and then don't just leave it over there. Get back and ask, what do you think? I'm there with you. No problem. If you have fallen, no issue. If you have failed, no issue. No problem. Give me, what do you think, where it went wrong? So even I will understand where it went wrong. I want to learn from you. Their power of reasoning develops. What till now, that power of reasoning was fossilized, because we never allowed them to do. Because we were skeptical, we were anxious. What if he falls? What if he fails? What if she fails? By allowing them to face the failure, we are allowing them to grow, and we are allowing them to develop that idea of reasoning, which is very, very important for these children. Right? Then we come down to this most important issue about authoritative parenting and authoritarian style of parenting. In authoritative parenting is where a style of parenting where the children also participate in establishing family expectations and rules. How should the family, how should we be? How should the family be? The children also participate. The children also throw their ideas on the table, everybody together. Very important, because again, you're respecting the I, the ego, the choice. Because with the I develops the ego, and with the ego develops the choice, and with the choice develops personality. It's all linked. I, ego, choice, personality. So when you're allowing the child also to participate, normally what do we do? You'll not understand. You're still small. You're still small. The child is 17, 18 year old. You're still small. You'll not understand. Where will the child exhibit its understanding? Where will the child exhibit its ideas? First at home, then outside. If at home it is crushed, outside he will just be a follower of somebody else. Because he never has developed, he has never failed, he has never tasted good thinking and good execution of ideas at home, he'll never be balanced outside. How can you expect him to balance or her outside? And then one fine day they will come and tell you, no mama, my friends told me, so I also said yes. And then you have to tell, where was your brain gone? Or a brain had gone when you, right from the beginning, you have not allowed that child to think at home. You have told the child, you're small, तू भी बच्चा है. कब तक वो बच्चा रहेगा? Right from the beginning, remember, right from the beginning we have been doing, especially when it's a child where you have to buy dress, color combination the parents choose, material the parents choose, everything the parent is doing. Beta ye sahi nahi lagega. Child doesn't look good for the party. Let the child do what the child wants to do. Let the child choose what clips, hair bands also the mother chooses. This doesn't go well with this dress. You wear this one. When will the child develop? Have we ever been like a backdrop banner and allowed the child to be on the stage in front, choose what you want to choose, wear whatever hairband you want to wear, whatever. And the child asks, how does this look? Fantastic. For you, how does it look? Good, na? For me also good. Very good. They have their own taste, they have their own choice, they have their own ideas. But we have never boosted that at all. And one fine day we asked them, where was your brains to do that thing? I was not there to develop that brain. That nobody points towards themselves. Any other question?
So there are a lot of questions regarding how to manage the screen time of children. When the parents are telling them, do not use it so often, then the children are not listening to it. How to manage this situation, sir?
See, first of all, that's why I said, as a parent, if we are doing work-oriented on the mobile, we should be clear enough to tell what we are doing. One. Second, son, for just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, could you sit down with me? Just whatever you want to do. 10 minutes, what I am doing, just to show you what I am doing, maybe of your interest or may not be of your interest. Bottom line is what? To convey the message, what am I using the gadget for? And what are we getting out of it? Is it a necessity or a luxury? Guide them through the idea about, is it a necessity or is it a luxury? I don't enjoy doing it, but it is a necessity. You are doing it later on, not at that time. Once, twice, let this exercise happen. And then say, and then pick up. Not with not with an argument way, with a very friendly manner. This, does it fall into necessity or luxury? What do you think? Make them realize. Make them reason out. Okay. What are the advantages and disadvantages? You also take a paper and pen and write. I also will take a paper and pen and write. Both are writing. Advantages and disadvantages. And then we keep 5 to 10 minutes to write that thing. And then we'll discuss. What are your points of advantage and disadvantage? What are my points? You will find this is the root of making them aware. What we are doing, don't use. How much time you're sitting on? But there is no reasoning behind it. What we are trying to do is put pressure on them and say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is... Why is it wrong? How come is it wrong? What are the effects and bad effects of that wrongdoing? That doesn't come up in the picture at all. You're only finally giving a conclusion. Don't do, this is wrong. Same thing I'll tell you for a child, a small child, maybe of 4 or 5 years. Suppose the child is banging on something with some hammer or with some spoon or with utensil, And you tell the child, don't do. See what is the effect? The child will do it more. The same thing you tell the child, wow, what nicely you're doing. See, you're damaging the table. Beautiful, do it more. Immediately the hand will go behind. You try this. Immediately the child will stop. That is similia similibus curantur. Na? How many times I've tried this with children? Wow, fantastic. You have broken the glass vial of pills. Take one more, break. Immediately it stops. But you tend to stop the child from doing, the child will do it all the more. Because defying is a quality of human being. I want to defy. Each one will defy. But the art of how to go with the defiance is important. Our approach should change accordingly to the way the situation is. Right? Any other question? So the idea is get behind the reason. And the knack is you and the child, both of them, the do's and don'ts. First is necessity and luxury. Then is the advantage and disadvantages. What am I getting? And ask them, do you do everything to get something? Clarify that first. 101% they will say yes. Keep that question aside. Then the do's and don'ts. And then come back to this question, what are we getting from this? You see, their whole entire thing will change completely. Because they themselves have answered, I do everything to get something. And in this, when they're writing the do's and don'ts, they have got nothing that they're getting. In fact, they're losing everything. You don't tell that you're losing everything. You ask them, are you losing or are you getting? Let them only answer for that. So get everything from their mouth. You don't have to do. Right? Try this and see, and let me know the feedback, because I've done it in the clinic, so I'm very sure. So you also try this and see what is the effect of that. Till now, what we were doing is we were correcting the child. Don't go to correct. Nobody will listen. As an adult, we don't listen. What do we expect the child to listen? But the way of correcting should be, the approach towards way of correcting should change. Because every act should have a reason. If there is no reasoning to an act, then the person is insane. I'll again and again tell this. Sane person will always reason out before acting. So always ask, what were you thinking before doing that? What you have done, I have no regrets. What was your idea in doing that? If you go behind the door, back door entrance, you see a lot of changes in your children. Yeah.